Yo, welcome to the channel, guys. I am Imakeli, and today I'm going to discuss Figma. I'm going to try to explain the details and the design tool as easy as I can in 10 minutes. So, first of all, what is Figma? Figma is a vector web-based design tool that allows designers to produce graphically related designs. Mostly, who is Figma for? The graphic designers or the web designers, UI UX designers or product designers, they all use Figma. So to get started, you have to go to figma.com as it's a web-based design tool. You can also download their native app, which is available for download on your computer. So which kind of devices can you use? Mostly for now, you need a laptop that supports most current web browsers, like the Chrome and the Firefox. Once you go to figma.com, to get started, you need an account. You can just use your Google Mail account to connect and log in to create an account. As you can see, I've clicked on mine. Once you've done that, you'll be directed to the home page, which will showcase a gallery of the previous works of Figma design projects. Then you're going to need to create a new design file. At the right corner, you're going to see a design file. This might change depending on the version or update on Figma. But clicking on that will bring you to a new design file. And here we are. This is what a new file on Figma looks like. This is how the layout looks like. In the layout, you see a simple layout. At the top, you have the Untitled, where you can change the name of the file. Here I'm going to change it to Figma Work or Figma Basics. I've changed the name of the file to Figma Basics. At the top left corner, you will see some icons that recognize or represent different functions. The first one is the file, the second is the arrow, the third is the frame. And when you select the frame, you will see at the right corner you have different frames available to work with. So you have the phones, the desktops, and other frames you can use. For a tutorial, I'm going to use a mobile phone frame, and I'm going to use one. Clicking on any of that will make it appear on the interface. So as you can see, as I selected the Apple phone, we have a layout of an Apple phone is. So this represents what the screen of an iPhone 10 is in its correct proportions and dimensions. At the right, you have the property panel. The properties of any selected element or icon or is displayed here. So if I want to change the color of the frame, clicking on the color and dragging that can change the color of this available frame selected. So as you already know, this frame of the iPhone 10 will be the background of what we are going to be designing on. We are going to be designing an interface for the iPhone 10. On the shape tool, you have different shapes and different operations from the rectangle and the other shapes and lines. To get started, I'm going to select the rectangle shape and dragging it over the frame will produce a rectangle shape. So if you need other shapes, you can also go back to the shape tool and choose another shape. They have shortcuts to also select this. For the rectangle, you can select an arrow or clicking on arrow to press or create a shape. If you create your properties that you don't want, you can delete that by highlighting and backspacing, or you can press Ctrl Z to backspace those. The next option is the pen tool. The pen tool is a popular vector tool in vector designs that allow you to create free shapes, lines, and shapes using the pen tool easily. And in Figma, you can also change these properties of this pen tool you've done. So I'm going to change the stroke and I'm making it darker. As you can see, we change the thickness of the stroke. The next one, we have the text. The text allows you to impute text on your interfaces or your canvas. So here I'm going to make a text. Let me create something like this. I'm going to write email, and you can change the properties of this text, both the font and the font size. So I'm going to increase the font size and drag it by adjusting it. You can actually drag and adjust the text. The next thing on the tool section is the hand tool, and you can see in the hand tool you can use it to drag around the drag your interface. When you have the drag tool highlighted, you can scroll and drag around your interfaces. To scroll in, you have to use your mouse and scroll to get your desired tool size. But to scroll in, you have to press the command and scroll the wheel of the mouse to scroll perfectly on Figma. The last tool we have at the top is the comment tool. The comment tool is mostly used for collaboration purposes. When you are working in a collaboration or with teams, you can use the comment to click or drop a comment for your other team members to see and maybe drop their own preferred comments or make the implementations of the comments you dropped. So here I'm going to drop that and write, do you like these colors? And I'm going to post it. If team members come around and they click on the comment icon there, they're going to see I asked the question of, do you like this field color? They can go about and reply maybe yes and send a reply, which I will see whenever I log in. So with that, we've covered the basic tools of Figma. And once you select, if there is no element selected, at the top you will see the name of your profile. On the left, you can see the layer panel. The layer panel is where each element is arranged and stacked depending on which is above and which is below. So the one above, you can see, represents the text I have. If I drag that over the bottom, it will disappear because it is now stacked below all the elements here, including the rectangle and the frame. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo that and bring it back up. We are going to make a small design just to demonstrate how Figma can be used. I've deleted this pen tool by pressing the delete after it's highlighted. You can also make some changes and import some files. So I'm going to drag in an SVG file. You can also import almost any kind of file, both PNG and your images, any kind of pictorial file. So I'm going to drag this and I'm placing it correctly and in proportion. You can also use some tools at the layer top to align that perfectly at the center of this frame. At the top, you can see some alignment tools. Clicking on the center align to align this picture at the center. So we have that. And also go ahead, I will highlight the frame and change the color to a white color so we can have something to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and make a smaller rectangle and create a very small login page. And let's change the color of that rectangle to a rose color. Then I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to drag above the rectangle and the text, and it will be highlighted. With the Alt tool, I'm going to drag around this to produce a copy. Once the Alt tool is dragged, and I can duplicate that. If you want to align it vertically or horizontally, you're going to press in Shift. You can see to align it horizontally. So here I'm going to change this text to the password, and here we have the two text box for the email and for the password. I'm going to duplicate the text again by using the Alt and drag to create another text and create the login button. So we are going to need the rectangle for the login button as well. So I'm going to use the Alt tool and drag to produce the background, the login button. So I'm going to align the email and the password text at the left by using the alignment tool. Then the login, I'm going to align it to the middle by using the alignment tool. And I'm going to change the color of the rectangle for the login button by using the fill color. Pressing I will bring out the eyedropper, and I'm going to select the color from our illustration. So I'm going to change the color of this font in the text in the button to white so that you can create contrast. You can also make some other changes like increasing the typeface, but I'm going to leave it for now as this is very minimalistic, simple login. Once you are satisfied with the end product, you can click at the top right corner on the play button at the top to open up the prototype screen. And once it's loaded up, you're going to see what your interface looks like once it appears on the selected prototype. And you can also make adjustments, going back to make adjustments. So I hope that was helpful.